I was the one that started the station. I was the first person there, and we had no people, no anything. We had the ministry loaned us a car, and the initial focus was to work on malaria. I remember going to schools and doing finger pricks on children that were 8 and 9 and finding 100% of them infected with malaria. KEMRI is a beautiful country. Our time there was some of the best in our life. Our son was born while we were in Kenya. I liked the people very much. Working with Professor Mugambi was a real privilege. We all were working together very effectively, and it was enormously satisfying to watch a strong program grow that seemed to be benefiting all parties.
The only funding we had available when I arrived was like $20,000. We had a continual struggle with bats, trying to keep the bats out of the roof of the laboratory. At one point in time, we actually put some money into helping the KEMRI staff housing because the top floors of one of the buildings over there, which is still there, was uninhabitable because of the bats. Again, when I first got out there, it was about $10 to call the United States, $10 a minute to call the United States from Kisumu, and all we had was a fax machine to transmit information back and forth, and even the fax machine cost $10 a minute.
It was interesting. A little overgrown, large compound, just one administrative building, the KEMRI administrative building, and 2 laboratories, and that was it. And a very bad road leading into this place.
There was no tarmac, it was purely mud. During rainy season, we could barely drive into the center.
When we arrived in 1995, I think one of the things that was interesting for us to see is that when Bernard Nalen, who was the director at the time, asked whether we wanted to come for lunch, he took us to the canteen at the time, which existed I think it's the current storeroom, an enormous hall where you had 2 or 3 big long wooden tables and an equal number of big chickens running around alive at that time. And as soon as he walked in and he saw a live chicken, he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, lunch isn't ready yet." So it was a real challenge to wash your hands or do anything else that was related to water at the time, because there's the water tower, but there was a leak in the water tower, so there wasn't any consistent supply of water. And one of the other things we had to do is drill the borehole, which happened probably in early '96, and repair the water tower, and that made a huge difference. So for the first time there was running water in the toilets, for example, which many of the female staff apparently were very happy about.
The field station, when I first got there, we were housed in some very nice and perfectly adequate facilities provided by KEMRI, but it was quite crowded, as all the KEMRI collaborations were housed in the same offices, ourselves, Walter Reed, Case Western Reserve, and so forth. And so we became very familiar with each other, practically sitting in each other's laps. So we began a period of renovation, which was characterized by a lot of mud, a lot of big equipment lying around, and a lot of moving back and forth trying to stay out of the way. Sitting in my office, plaster would fall down onto the desk while we were having meetings, and people would be hard to hear each other because of the hammering noises and the construction noises, but eventually we were rewarded with fabulous facilities that allowed us to really take on our expanded role in broad infectious disease work. I think as I look back on now my 22 plus years at CDC, I can say for sure that director of the KEMRI CDC program is by far the best job that I've ever had. I don't know if they'd ever let me come back and do it again, but it sure would be fun to think about.
It's been a joy to be here because it is one thing to rise up to be a center director the way I am through the system, having seen all those changes, having worked with those changes, than if we plucked somebody from somewhere, just brought him here and said, you be the center director. They may not actually be able to appreciate the rich history and background which has made us be what we are, and really what keeps us here as a family. So to me, that is one thing I always relish, that I came here, I began at the lowest level of a scientist, and I've risen up to be what we call a chief research officer in KEMRI, which is really the highest level of a scientist, and I've seen this center grow through all the entire stages to what it is now, which is really a world-class center. When we talk, the world actually listens.
Happy anniversary to KEMRI CDC. Happy anniversary to KEMRI CDC.
Happy anniversary to KEMRI CDC.
Happy anniversary to KEMRI CDC.
Happy anniversary to KEMRI CDC.
Happy anniversary to KEMRI CDC.
Happy anniversary to KEMRI CDC.
Happy anniversary to KEMRI CDC.
Happy anniversary KEMRI CDC.
Happy anniversary KEMRI CDC.
Happy anniversary KEMRI CDC.
Happy anniversary, 30 years, KEMRI CDC.
Happy anniversary KEMRI CDC.
Happy anniversary KEMRI CDC.
Happy anniversary KEMRI CDC.
Happy anniversary
KEMRI CDC.
KEMRI CDC.
Happy anniversary.